Hey there, YouTube. Shapeworks here with a September 2017 ban list prediction kind of video. I've never done one of these before, so I hope this doesn't end up like my last the last video I did, which was complete trash. uh, yeah, I'm trying out new things. I'm going to be doing different types of Yu-Gi-Oh content videos. This is just one of them. I know everybody pretty much does one of these, but since I'm trying new things, why not just start with stuff other people have done before that I could get like a base idea about like how to do them. And yeah, uh, let's just get right into it. First up, the band cards I have are Zodiac Trident, Zodiac Broadbull, Zodiac Trident, and Zodiac Broadbull. The reason why I have them banned is because Zodiac has had their spotlight, has had their time in the spotlight. I mean, they've topped all the top. They've topped every tournament they except for Worlds because they were pretty much banned in that tournament. When I was in Pittsburgh, top 64 of day one was Zodiac variants. Top 32 of day two of YCS Pittsburgh was Zodiac variants. Uh, at Nationals, like almost same thing, Zodiac variants. Pretty much every tournament in the past year almost has been Zodiac. Zodiac has always been the dominant deck of the past year, and it's just time for them to go away. They're they've gone stale. I've talked to some of the players here in my state that play the deck, and they're even tired of playing the same rat combos, same Shaka 9 combos, same combos that they've been doing for the past year. They're just tired of it. So when the players themselves of a certain deck get tired of doing the same basic combos, it's time for a certain deck to just die off and let the new link mechanic take its place and actually let the new stuff come in. The last card I have banned is Maxi. Honestly, I don't think Maxi's that healthy of a card. Honestly, Maxi is just whoever has it first wins practically, and if you do the whole I go first, I open up broke, pass, Maxi, the opponent can't do anything in retaliation. The person who started out with the bigger board wins with Max C if they have it. Same thing goes if the opponent is going second and player first. Uh, Player who goes first like gets played Max C against. Player two practically wins because they will just have a huge card advantage against the person who doesn't have Max C in those scenarios. Just whoever has Max C first wins. So I just think Maxi needs to really go away. It's like one of my favorite hand traps I've ever used because of how overpowered it is. But the card is just overpowered. It's just too powerful. It needs to go away. It's just unhealthy for the game, especially with link mechanics where every deck will be spamming special summons everywhere with link monsters and just summoning monsters to the field to create more link monsters. Honestly, Maxi just shouldn't be in Link format or Link era or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's my banned cards. My limited cards, meaning limited to one, I put Zodiac Barrage just to throw them a bone, just to say, hey, even though two of your best exceeds are are gone, you at least have the one Barrage. So I honestly, Barrage is their most powerful starting card, and it's really ridiculous because of how many times me personally they would play one barrage, or no, they would summon their Raptor. I would not max it. I would Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit it if they use the effect to summon a card from deck to grave. Then they would just go, all right, summon or not summon, activate Zodiac Barrage, and they still are able to go off. Or vice versa. You could Ghost Ogre the Barrage, but they would still get the Rep tier effect. Uh, But yeah, Zodiac Barrage wouldn't be that powerful if they don't have Trident, which is their big control card, or Broadwell, which is their big search card. Uh, Honestly, Barrage at 1 would be perfectly fine. I would be fine with it because it's just one copy. They wouldn't really be able to make big boards with it if it's at 1. Uh, yeah, so Zodiac Barrage to 1. Next card I have is Dragonic Diagram. Dragonic Diagram really needs to go down to 1 to both hit True Draco and True King Dinosaur. For those that have watched my other videos, you know that I play True King Dino, and I wouldn't really want them to hit my deck personally, but seeing how True King Yang Zing Dino won Worlds, they really need to hit Diagram to hit both decks. Because if you look over at the OCG and what's topping over there, it's like 40% True King Dinosaur, or True King Dinosaur Yang Zing, or just Dinosaur in general. Uh, so yeah, Diagram needs to go down to 1. Uh, so, because honestly, if Dragonic Diagram was out 1, True King Dinosaur would still get their plays because you only really need 1 Diagram to make their plays, plus True King Dino still has Lost World that they could use, so that's another field spell that they could rely off of. And when it comes to True Draco, they have a plethora of monsters to get their spells, traps, and monsters. Just look at what they did at Worlds. They have a monster that could search out or activate spells and traps, or a spell. They have another monster that could activate a trap or add a trap. And they have a monster that could do the same thing, but add a monster. So they don't really need Diagram. So Diagram at 1 would be completely fine. So yeah, Diagram at 1. Next card will be Masterpiece of the True Draco. I really do not like this card. When I was playing in Nationals in Chicago, I faced a True Draco player where I dominated him the entire match. But right when he had no cards on the field and he just had 1 trap and 1 spell on his field. He attributed both his spells and traps to summon 1 Masterpiece of the True Draco, and he automatically won the game from there because Masterpiece is just too powerful. He's a 2950 beater that once per turn you could banish 1 continuous spell or trap from the graveyard to destroy 1 card on the field. He's unaffected by practically everything. You tribute over a monster or a spell, it's unaffected by monster and spells. It's just, you guys know what it does. It's just an overpowered card that really needs to be at least at 1. At 3, it's just too powerful, but at 2, it'd still be kind of like the still too powerful kind of thing because there's multiples. Honestly, he should just be at 1 because he's just that powerful. So yeah, Masterpiece at 1. The next card, the limited, would be Evil Sword and Excite Knight. Only reason why I put him at 1 in my list is because he got reprinted in one of the special packs. So since he got reprinted recently, it kind of means Konami's reprinting that, or not reprinting, putting that card back on the list so players could play it. Back in the day, back when Klees and Necros were the big decks, I personally got screwed over and lost so many games just because of Excite Knight and because he could blow up the field multiple times per turn, and he multiple times, not just during the opponent's turn or the controller's turn, but during both players' turn. That I really got screwed over myself, but the game has advanced so much in the past year or 2 years since it's been banned, and honestly, I feel like it got kind of power crept in a way because now we have strikes, we have Lost Wind, we have just so many different negation cards. Honestly, I would be fine if it came back at 1. So yeah, Evil Sword and Excite Knight at 1. And my personal card that I want back to at least 1, just because of the new Link mechanic and the new Master Rule where you can only control 1 extract monster in the extra monster zone, would be Lavalval Chain. A lot of people do not like this card because it's too overpowered because you get to send 1 monster from the deck to the graveyard, but honestly, that is pretty overpowered. That is pretty good. But honestly, seeing how the game has evolved and how fast it's gotten, the Volvo chain would make it a little bit faster, yes, but at the same time, it would help all these smaller decks come out of the works and help them out. Uh, so yeah, that's it for my limited cards. Just to go over it, uh, Zodiac Barrage at 1, Dragonic Diagram at 1, Masterpiece, the True Draco, or the True Draco Slaying King, uh, Excite Knight, and the Bubble Chain. All those at 1. Now to my semi-limited. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, I almost forgot 2 cards. I forgot 2 cards on my list. I just looked down on my piece of paper. I also put Fossil Dig because it won Worlds, and Konami usually hits whatever deck gets first or second place at Worlds. And Fairy Tale Snow, that's a personal pick of mine, another personal pick of mine, because it's just too powerful to card. It honestly wins games on its own because since it's not once of its name per turn, you could, in a 60-card deck, you could banish pretty much 30 cards from your graveyard in 1 turn to set like 5 monsters with 1 card, and that is just ridiculous. It's just, I personally don't like it, a lot of people don't, so I put it at 1, and again, it's a personal pick. But now to semi-limited cards, meaning you could play 2. I put Terraforming because look at all the field spells that everybody's playing. There's Magical Meltdown for Invoked, there's Dragonic Diagram, there's Lost World, there's Spell Books, Spellbinding Tower, there's the Trick Stars, there's the Block Chalice, they all have field spell, really good field spells. Honestly, Terraforming needs to be at 2 at least, especially since we're about to get a trap version of Terraforming where when you activate the trap, you get to add a field spell from your deck to hand or activate it from deck to field. So honestly, Terraforming at 2 would be perfectly fine. The next card I put at 2 would be Cyframe Lord Omega, just because he could break the Link mechanic, because once he leaves the field and comes back, you could place him back in the regular monster zone. And with that breaks that mechanic, and I personally don't like it. Even though I use Omega, I do agree it's an unfair card. And since it got, wait, did it get yeah, I forget if it got reprinted. If it did, even more reason for it to be on the list because everybody would have access to it. So yeah, Cyframe Lord Omega at 2. Ash Blossom, I put Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring at 2 just because I feel like the hand trap era should end. It's pretty annoying because we have so many different hand traps. We're about to get Magic Bullet, which is a hand trap heavy deck because all their spells, traps, and monsters all have hand trap effects. And when a Magic Bullet monster is on the field, you get to activate Magic Bullet spells and traps from your hand during the other player's turn. And I just don't want to play in a game where hand traps are like the most dominant thing because you can't stop them. You can only predict if they have it or if they don't have it. So Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring at 2 just because I don't like the hand trap era that we're in. The next card I put at 2 is Cosmo Dark Destroyer. I would like him to come back at 2, just to help Cosmos out in the Link era. OCG has them in at 2. Uh, he was really powerful when he first came out, when he was back at 3. I forget if he was put at 2, then 1, but whatever. Yeah, Cosmo Dark Destroyer should be at 2 just to help Cosmo out. Cosmos are one of my favorite decks. I've never actually played it in tournaments before, but I've always been a fan of the playstyle of the pilots being able to bash themselves to some big ships, that some smaller ships that keep going smaller and smaller until you down back to the pilots. I really like that mechanic, and I want Cosmo to come back to the mainstream. So yeah, Cosmo Dark Destroyer at 2. I put Book of Moon at 2 because honestly, Book of Moon should come back to at least 2, just because uh, it has no reason to be on the list anymore. If it was put back at 2, it would a lot of people would be playing it because it is a really good card. It's a generic just set a card face down. It's it's mainly because it's an old card that's been on the limited list for too long. It just should come back to at least 2. I personally would like it back at 3, but realistically, I could see it coming back to 2 in the next list. Also, the last reason why I think Pokemon should come back is you can't link summon with set monsters, so that can be a counterplay to a lot of either current Link decks or future Link decks to kind of counter and what's the wording? I forget. I forgot the wording. The next card I put at 2 is Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike because it's being reprinted in the special edition of Code of the Duelist. And that, again, normally means Konami's going to be reprinting the card. Or, not reprinting, limiting the card because everybody will have access to that card. Honestly, I could also see it going down to 1, just to follow suit with the rest of the Solemn Brigade, but I would like it to go from at least the 3 that it's at now to 2, then to 1, just like all the other Solemn cards. Then for the final card that's on my list that should be put to 2 is Blackwing Gofu, the Vague Shadow. The reason why I have that at 2 or a 1 is because it's a 1-card Deco Talker that doesn't waste any resources. You summon him, he brings out the 2 tokens, you bring out 2 Link Spiders, then you link all 3 into 1 Deco Talker. And that is abusing the Link mechanic, in my opinion. So yeah, that is my September 2017 ban list prediction. Tell me what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to be trying a lot of new videos like I've been saying, and I will be doing an opening of the Megatins pretty soon, as soon as I get them. They should be in the mail in like the next 3 days or whatever. It might come in on Monday, I think. So yeah, anyway, Shapeworks out. Bye.